Okay, let's get going. First of all, thanks everybody for showing up. Those of you who did. This is my first time hosting a webinar too with my list, so hopefully it goes according to plan. I had Keynote crash on me a couple times during the setup, so if it does, just bear with me there for a few minutes, and I'll get that back online. So to start, let's go over quickly why we're here. And the reason we're here is to learn to build a better landing page that gets more people to sign up for your product. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. So we're going to go through exactly how we're going to do that in a minute here. And also, we're going to do some live landing page feedback at the end. We're going to review one user-submitted landing page. I'm just going to give a little bit of tips on how to make it better. Okay, for those of you who are here who don't know who I am, because maybe you joined, you're not part of my audience and you joined in another way, this is a quick shot of me. So here's me and my dog posing for a Christmas picture. And in the background there, you're going to see a terrifying robot snowman just down here. My mom takes this out at Christmas every year, and she hasn't replaced the batteries in like 10 years. And so when you push the button, it sings Frosty the Snowman in a terrifying demon voice. Okay, so that's why I included it in there. A little bit more, I run a blog called usabilityhour.com where I help entrepreneurs and people who work with digital and online products. I help them sort of design usable products that create good user experiences. Okay, so we help build products that grow organically. So if people get a lot of value from the product and it's easy to use and it's simple and have a good experience, they're going to tell people about it organically and it's going to grow. So that's kind of the point of the things that I write about. Just a quick brief overview of my background. So I'm a user experience consultant, product designer, visual designer, and entrepreneur. And I've kind of been in and out of all of these areas over the last 10 years through, working for different startups and also working for large corporations, advertising companies, companies that sell digital products like Kobo, e-readers, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I've been up to, where I learned a lot of this stuff came from that type of experience. Also, within the last 5 years or so, I helped co-found 3 different startups. One is called Quillia. You're going to see a little bit of that today as I use it as an example for the landing pages. Another one is called Minnow.com. That is a mom-based social network that allows local communities of mothers to sort of connect online on an application away from stuff like phone, so they can discuss more private personal details. It's security. And then the third startup I helped co-found was called Rabble.org. That was a crowdfunding type startup that helped us try to crowdfund advertising campaigns for social causes. So if you were help save the whales and you didn't have any money for a marketing campaign, people could donate and help crowdfund your marketing campaign. And we would then take that money and buy advertisements on places like Facebook ads and YouTube pre-rolls and that kind of stuff. But so from that experience, I have become a designer of many landing pages. I've done them for everything, major products to tiny little startups. So landing pages like this. You're going to see me use this example quite a bit throughout this webinar. This is my personal startup, Quillia, that I just launched a few weeks ago. So that's, I can't scroll down obviously because I'm in Keynote, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. And landing pages like this, which is just one of my clients that I helped consult and build them a better, higher converting landing page. This is a mobile application. It's in the fashion industry. It's kind of about getting opinions on your outfits before you buy them. It's like a crowdsourced opinions on your outfits. So moving right along to landing pages. I often hear this a lot. A landing page, really, who cares? Just put up some info about our product. That's all we need to do. Just throw up some information, anything that rolls off our tongue, throw it up on a web page, put up a button, and then we're all good, right? And I say no. Business Fish says no, absolutely not. Your landing page is the hot, fresh pizza sign on your pizza place. This is what I always say, because let's say it's the middle of the night and you're walking down the street. Let's say I'm walking down the street, middle of the night, and I really want some pizza. Okay, what am I going to look for? I'm going to look for this sign, because this sign says there's pizza in here. And if I'm hungry and I need some pizza, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to buy some. Okay. But now what if down the street there's this guy too? And he's like, hey, I sell pizza too, you know? And he's thinking to himself, how come no one's coming in here and buying any pizza? I don't understand. It's because I don't even understand that he sells pizza, because the outside of a store looks like a terrifyingly blank, entrance to the FBI headquarters or something. So I'm going to walk right past here. I don't know he sells pizza. Okay. So your landing page needs to be good if you want people to come inside your metaphorical pizza place and eat your metaphorical pizza. Okay. Because you need those people to come inside. Because what does every startup need? It needs users. I'm telling you, you got to have users, you got to have customers and people, and you have to be growing if you want to survive. You can't just get 10 users and then sit at 10 users for years, unless you're some kind of magical startup. Okay? And so how do you get those users? Well, you get them through marketing and growth methods. And that could be anything. That's a topic for a completely other webinar, but it could be anything. It could be advertising. It could be, content marketing. You could be blogging. You could be posting on Reddit. You could be sharing with friends. You could even be walking around and giving, your business card out to people on the street or putting up posters. But the point is, they all have one thing in common. And that one thing is they all drive people back to your landing page. Okay? So no matter what you do, you have to have a URL to point people back to. And if that URL and that landing page is no good and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, you get stuck in something I call the wasted effort cycle. Okay? So what happens in this cycle is you spend some time marketing, and that time you spend marketing sends people to your bad landing page. And those people leave without signing up because they don't understand what they're going to get because your landing page is bad. And you ask yourself, what's going on? Why is this happening? I'm going to double down. I'm going to spend more time marketing, and that's going to get us to grow. But then you get stuck into the same loop, and then you send those people back to the same bad landing page, and they leave without signing up, and you think to yourself, I just have to try harder. I just have to get more people to look at my landing page. But it doesn't work like that. So bad landing page design leads to frustration. It leads to you asking, why isn't this working? I'm pulling my hair out. I'm going insane. I'm trying everything I can. Why isn't this working? Where, good landing page design coupled with all those marketing efforts, it leads to user growth. Because as long as you're sending the right type of traffic to your landing page, and as long as your landing page is able to communicate what you want it to, then it's not going to be difficult to get those people to sign up. Okay? So what we're going to focus on now is helping you create a better landing page by fixing these 5 common mistakes I see all the time. Now, it would take me hours to sit here and teach you exactly how to make an amazing landing page, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But I feel like teaching you how to fix the mistakes that I see people continually make is a quick, easy way to get you started on the right path. Okay? So just jumping right into the meat here, the number one biggest mistake I see is people having a poorly written headline or not even having a headline at all. Okay? So let's just quickly take a look at the headline. This is my headline on Quillea. Okay. Every landing page needs one of these headlines, and it needs to be front and center, because when someone lands on your page, they're going to leave within seconds if they don't see something that hooks them and grabs their attention and gets them to stick around. And that's the job of this headline. It needs to be the first thing that people see and the first thing they read, and they need to be able to read it quickly, and it needs to convince them to stick around. Okay? So oftentimes a bad headline is vague and unclear. So it doesn't really say anything about the product. It just kind of says something that sort of sounds good. It focuses only on features. So, our servers are, 4,000 times faster than any other server in the world, and they have a response time of 0.7 milliseconds. That's great and all, but it's just a feature. Okay, and what those features do is they're missing benefits to the visitor. So, what if I'm in a hurry and I'm rushing around and I don't have time to read your whole landing page to decode these benefits. You need to spell it out for me. Exactly how is this going to make my life better? Okay. And oftentimes, headlines are sorry, a bad headline is written like a tagline. It's like something like, um, you know, the best just got better, or calculators, a whole new meaning to the word calculator. This stuff doesn't make any sense. And people often write it and they try to sound clever and cool, or maybe they use a pun or something like that. But all you're really doing is confusing people. Okay. So like quickly taking a look at some examples. Here's a company, Talic, and their headline is "Run your business better today." What does that mean? That doesn't offer anything to me. It doesn't offer any benefits. It doesn't even offer any description of the product. It just says "Run your business better today." And I'm pretty confused by that. So that's a really poor example of a super vague headline. And even going on to some of the bigger guys, like here's Evernote's landing page, and their headline is "Your life's work," right? So this is very tagline-ish, and it's really offering nothing to me in the way of what the product is about. So if I'm unfamiliar with Evernote and I land here, I'm probably not going to sign up because I have no idea what it's even talking about. Okay. And you know what? Maybe Evernote has tested this and they found out that because they're so well known, the people are willing to sign up or whatever reason. But what I'm saying is, for you at your stage, you're not Evernote, don't use a tagline like this. Okay. Because this is it's completely nonsensical. Even I can't connect what your life's work means to Evernote. And I've used Evernote since the very first day it hit the App Store. So I'm a little confused by that. And here's another example. Meet Edgar, the social media queue that never runs out. Okay. This one's starting to get a little bit better. It's starting to talk about benefits, but it's still just a feature. Okay. So what does that actually mean for me in my day-to-day life? How does having a social media queue that never runs out, how does that make my life easier? And if you're the inventor or creator of Edgar, you probably perfectly understand the benefit of a social media queue that never runs out. And maybe you're so close to your product that you think that everyone should be, it should be obvious what the benefit is, but not everyone knows the benefit, so they need it spelled out for them again. So these headlines need to include benefits. So again, a good headline offers a clear benefit. It's short and grabs people's attention. It proposes value to the visitor, and it's plain and simple language. Okay. So not to toot my own horn, but here's Quillia's headline. It's "Spend less time searching for great social content to share." And spend less time searching is the benefit because they're going to spend less time. It's going to save them time. And the reason I wrote it this way is because this is a pain point that I've identified of these people. And the pain point is it takes them too much time to find content to share on their social media properties like Twitter or Facebook. And they want to be sharing constantly because that's what you need to do if you want to be growing your followers and your audience on there. So they will know right away within seconds of reading this that this product is going to help them in their day-to-day life, and they're going to keep reading. Okay, so that's my example of a good headline. And hey, what do you know? I wrote it. So the one big takeaway you need from this is that you need a headline that communicates a benefit. It's super important above everything else. Get that benefit in there. Moving on to number 2, having a landing page that has more than one goal. This one is a pretty big deal, and I see this a lot. Your landing page needs only one goal and one goal only. Okay, why? Because more than one option means having to make a choice, and choices are hard for people to make. If you want to learn more about this, I suggest Googling the paradox of choice. Okay. Basically what this says is when you give someone too many choices, they don't make a choice at all. So people will just do nothing instead. Have you ever been to a restaurant and had a really tough time choosing from a huge menu, and you sit there and you stress about it and you don't know what to do, and the waiter comes along and they're like, "Are you ready yet?" And you're like, I can't figure this out. There's a lot of choices there, and choosing is really, really hard. Now imagine that the menu didn't have a bunch of items, and the only choice you had to make was, would you like to eat this food tonight, or would you not like to eat at all? That choice is way easier. If you're hungry, you're going to say yes. Okay? So it's good to understand that giving people less choices is much better because it makes it easier on them. So some common examples of multiple goals on landing pages are, sign up for a free trial, but also you can book a demo with us, and also you can join our newsletter, and also you can read our latest blog entry. You can also contact us. Some more examples are meet our team and about us and our story and how we were created. All these extra things are often about the company and they're not about the visitor. Okay. So just quick examples here. Here's an app called Carbon Planner. Even up here, they have home, tour, blog, user guide. I mean, if I haven't even signed up for the product yet, why are you giving me options for a user guide? Or, why would I even need a user guide if I haven't signed up? So you have to ask yourself, what's the point of this page? Is it to support current users that already have signed up, or is it to get new users to sign up? Generally, if you're a new startup, you want to be focusing on signing up new users. And if you want to support your current users, you can do that on another page, like a help page, or in the footer of your product or something like that. So focus and just pick one goal. And what I would often say is, focus on getting people to sign up. Booking a demo or joining a newsletter or, reading a latest blog or contacting you, these can be applicable depending on what, product or service you're selling. But if you're selling a traditional startup that's a digital product, you want to convince people to sign up. Whether you have a free trial or not, doesn't matter, but you want people to sign up. Because once you pick that one goal, then all the content on your page becomes about achieving that goal. Okay? So now everything you write and everything you include is all about reasons for signing up for that free trial. Here's why you should do it. Here's reason number 1. Here's reason number 2. Here's reason number 3. Now, if you had more than one goal, for example, booking a demo or signing up for a free trial, there's different reasons for doing each of those. And if you're trying to focus on achieving both of those goals, all of the writing on your landing page is going to be all over the place. Half of it's going to be about booking a demo. The other half's going to be about, well, maybe we should convince people to contact us. People are going to get confused and they're not going to understand what you want them to do. So pick that one goal, And oftentimes I hear people say, well, what if I want people to be able to contact us? Okay, well, that's fine. But keep in mind that any extra link or any extra option you put in there, it's less likely that people are going to do what you want them to do. So you're less likely to achieve what you want. So if you have a landing page that you want people to sign up for your product and you put a contact form on there, chances are the amount of people signing up is going to go down. And sure, maybe some people are contacting you, but just because they contact you, does it mean that they're actually signing up? No, it doesn't. So the one big takeaway from here is pick a single goal and make everything on your landing page about achieving that goal. Okay? So number 3 is having a poor call to action. And now just bear with me for a second because I want to pop back into the Google Hangouts because it's not letting me look at this on my other monitor. So I'm just going to see here. Okay, we've got people here. Just checking. Sorry about that. Didn't want to break the flow of things, but I'm going to go back now. So anyway, number 3, having a poor call to action. So here is a call to action button. This is the meat of your landing page. So you want your visitors to be super excited once they read your content. You want them to be so pumped to click on that button because that button is going to be exactly what they want to happen. Okay? So some common call to action button mistakes I see is it has boring and generic copy on it. So it says things like sign up or try it or let's go or get started. This stuff is boring. And it's a great opportunity to put something way more engaging there, but people don't do it. It can also be that the CTA button is in a bad location. Maybe it's way down at the bottom of the page, or it's way awkwardly up in the top corner, or basically just when the person is ready to sign up, they can't find where they're supposed to do it. That's what bad location means. Also, it can blend in. It doesn't look like a button. There's a trend now of buttons being these outlined boxes, okay? It doesn't look like a button, and if it doesn't look like a button, people aren't going to understand that they're supposed to press it. So it needs to look like a button. And the last thing is bad call to action buttons are unclear as to what's going to happen. So for example, if it's a button that says let's go, I don't know where we're going. You know, if I push that button, where are we going to? So it's very unclear. So quickly looking at some examples. The beauty of the web bundled, and here we go. Here's their call to action button. It's literally the one single thing they want people to do on this page is push this button, and I can barely see it. Is it a button or is it just a white box? Okay, and sign up, you know, bracket beta is so boring and generic. It's not really inspiring me to click. So as far as I'm concerned, like this button is not a button. It's just a clear box. So another example, here we have, this is all about reading direction. So this is not a bad design. I land here, I see this nice big headline here, and underneath it's going to explain it a little bit better. And you got a little screenshot here of the product, but I'm reading in this direction, top to bottom, okay? So if I read this, and I read this, and I see this picture, and I'm really excited to sign up, and the call to action button is way up here in the corner, it's just not grabbing me at a time where it's supposed to be grabbing me. It's not giving me a goal of what to do after I read all this great information. So that's kind of a poorly placed call to action button. But not only that, its color is weak. It almost blends in with the background. It's not drawing my eye to it. The one place that my eye gets drawn to the most in this whole landing page is this green switch here, because it's the only piece of contrasting color on the page. So if I were to do this over again, you know, I would take this button and I would stick it here and I would make it this green color. And I would get rid of this green here so that that color is really, really prominent on the page. So a good call to action button usually starts with an action verb. It's something actionable. I mean, literally the name is call to action button. Okay. So you want people to be clicking on this and to make it sound like it's going to say something like start doing this, or begin this, or, you know, something that is actionable, that makes it seem like when I click it, it's going to solve my problems and we're going to get away to the races. Okay. As I mentioned before, it's a bold color that's not used anywhere else on the page. This needs to be so different than everything else that my eye needs to be drawn to it. And then when my eye is drawn there, I read that actionable copy and I click it. Third, it needs to be shaped like a button. You know, forget these outlined boxes or these, you know, text links even. Forget that. If you want me to click on it, make it look like a button. And also make it easy to understand what's going to happen. Okay? Don't say things like, let's go, or get started, or let's do it. You know, because I don't know what's going to happen when I click on it. So really quickly, a nice little formula for writing the copy on your button is put yourself in the voice of your user and fill out this sentence. Yes, I want to blank. Okay? The thing you put in the blank is the copy you can use on your button. So for example, for Quelia, my startup, people would say, yes, I want to start growing my followers. Okay? So what does my button become? Start growing your followers. So that's just a quick little shortcut you can use to write your own CTA button text. So your one big takeaway here, make your call to action big, bright, and bold. Make me want to click on it. Moving right along, number 4, not including visual context. What is this? What is visual context? This is visual context right here. It's literally as simple as showing a visual representation of what you're talking about. So this here, I don't even need to ask what this is. Just with this picture, I already understand it's an app, and I already understand I'm taking notes with it. Okay, so this picture speaks 1,000 times louder than any words you're going to use. And it's amazing the amount of people that create a landing page and just don't include any kind of visual context or visual representation of what they've created. So for example, here's something. Online cashback made simple. You know, it says here, whether it's closed to phones, you get money back We have over 2,000 retailers to choose from with 10% better returns. Okay, and then this visual picture is just stuff, which, I mean, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to say you can get this stuff but for me, I don't understand what the product is. So I'm having a tough time deciding whether I should actually sign up. So ideally what this would be, if you asked me, would be an online checkout process showing me that a code has been entered and a percentage of money has been taken off. Because now I understand. The visual context of it is you use it during a checkout process, it comes in coupon codes, and it's going to give me a discount. I don't really give a shit about all this stuff over here that I can get, wine and sunglasses. Like, that doesn't matter to me. What I need to understand is what it is you're trying to get me to sign up for. I mean, imagine a car commercial without images of cars driving. It just wouldn't work. Imagine an announcer describing this beautiful car that's silver and it's amazing and goes over hills and comes down the other side, but you just didn't see any pictures. Instead, you saw, pictures of people sitting on the beach. Just, your brain wouldn't be able to connect the benefits of what they're describing with an actual thing, and that's the problem. So types of visual context can be a screen grab and screen grab. That's not right, but a screen grab of your interface, if you say I have an app or a digital product, and then nest that screen grab within a browser window or within a mock-up of an iPhone. This is pretty easy to do these days and age. You just type in something like iPad mockup or browser mockup. You're going to get a ton of files. It can be a video demo of you using your app and talking into a microphone, or it could be something like an explainer video, a more well-produced, narrated, animated video of someone, a use case scenario of someone using your app. Basically, it's just anything that lets people look at what it is that you're talking about and connect the benefits you're describing to a visual representation of that thing. Because it's always more powerful to show someone a picture as well as describe the benefits. So really quickly, I'll just kind of go into Quillia. This is how I showed the visual context of Quillia. It's just a really quick, simple little browser window because Quillia is a browser app. So people understand this is what they're going to see when they log in. It's got share buttons, and this is how they're presented with the content. So yeah, very, very simple. So the one big takeaway from this is just take a picture, a screen grab, or a video of your product and just include it on your landing page. I mean, ideally, it works best if you can fit it up above near where your headline is and where your call to action is so that people can make an immediate connection. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's just important that someone can see what you're talking about at some point as you describe the benefits of using your product. Okay, so let's move along to number 5 now, not including social proof. Social proof is super important. And if you're not familiar with what it is, it's this. This is a piece of social proof, a testimonial from a real person describing the exact benefit they are getting from using your product. Okay? And you've got a picture of him right there and his name, and he's an author and what he does, and he's giving you a very specific benefit, a very specific case study of what happened when he used this app. So he's not just saying, it was great, it was good, I love it. He's saying, my social media traffic is up 95%, which is amazing. This is a fantastic testimonial. Okay, so why is social proof important to your landing page? It's because the more people trust you, the more likely they are to sign up. Okay, but the problem is when someone lands on your landing page, they have no idea who you are, and they have no idea if you can be trusted. And so that's seeing that other people have already trusted you and gotten the value out of what you're promising, that means that they can trust you as well. And this sounds so stupid, but it's 100% true. And it kind of hinges on this. Have you ever seen a crowd of people looking up and pointing at something? Chances are if you've walked by a crowd of people looking, gathered around somewhere, you're going to at least take a glance in the direction to see what's going on. If not, go all over there and fully check it out. And so why do you do this? There's just a compelling thing inside you that tells you to do it. You're curious, you want to see what's going on. But when you get down to it, it's because humans are designed to trust other groups of humans. They're designed to do what other humans are doing in large numbers. It's a shortcut in our brain, and it makes us be able to not have to process every single thing that's going on around us. Okay? So when we see a bunch of people looking up and pointing, we're going to do it too, because our brain is saying to us, something's going on. We should be doing what they're doing, because you know what? They're probably right. Maybe there's danger. Maybe there's something interesting. Whatever it is, we should do it too. This is why social proof works. Because the more people that are using your product and saying it's good, the more you can be trusted. People can trust you to deliver the value that you're offering. So forms of social proof can be user testimonials. It can also be trusted brands who use your product. You know, so if Coca-Cola is a client of yours, put their logo up. Because if Coca-Cola trusts you, then I can trust you. Because I trust Coca-Cola. So it's trust through association. You can also use number count. So let's say you have 10,000 users. You should mention that. Or let's say you've helped 10,000 people. You should mention that. You should say, you know, join 10,000 other people. Because in my mind, if 10,000 people trust you, I can trust you. Okay? And it can also be influential people talking about the importance of the service you provide. That might be a little confusing, but I'm going to get more into that in a minute here. But first, let's take a quick example here. This is Slack's landing page. If you don't know what Slack is, it's an amazing messaging app, okay, for teams. Anyway, they're using excellent social proof here. They say NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory trusts them. NASA uses Slack, okay? So, I mean, if NASA trusts Slack, everyone's going to trust them. But right after this, they also say NASA is just one of tens of thousands of teams around the world using Slack. So this is a really good example of two forms of social proof packed into one really great sentence. Okay? But what it comes back to is if you have a new product, you might be asking, well, what if I don't have any social proof because I'm new? I can't put testimonials out because I just launched. You know, I can't say tens of thousands of people use my product because they don't. I only have 20 users. Okay? This is perfectly fine. And this is exactly what's happening with me with Quillia, because we just launched Quillia 2 weeks ago or so. So what I suggest you do is use quotes from influential people that support your product's value. So I used a quote from Michael Stelzner, the founder of Social Media Examiner, who says, if your audience trusts you because you consistently share good content, when you share your own material, they're more likely to engage. So what he's saying kind of wraps up exactly what Quillia is about. It's about sharing quality content in order to increase the chance of people clicking on other content you share, like your own content. Okay, so this isn't as good as a testimonial, and I'll definitely swap this out when the time comes, when I get some really good feedback from people. But for the time being, this helps convince people that what I'm offering has value and it can be trusted. So the one big takeaway from this is to include any form of social proof, even a simple quote about why the benefit you're offering has value. So those are the 5 mistakes I see all the time. So in conclusion, I'm going to say good landing page design means that time spent trying to get more users isn't wasted. It means when you go out and bust your ass and you put up posters or you run advertisements or you paste links to your startup on Product Hunt or Reddit or whatever you're doing, it means any form of little tiny pieces of traffic, even little trickles that come back to your landing page, it means you didn't waste time getting those people there. Because a bad landing page is just that. It's just wasting time. So I want to talk a bit about my problems and what I encountered when I first started designing landing pages for my own products. I found that starting from scratch was really, really hard. Okay? Just sitting and staring at a blank canvas, that was tough. Because I was thinking to myself, where do I begin? What do I do first? Okay? So this led me to reading a lot of research, papers and different things on landing pages. So what I did was I read a ton of best practices, okay? But they didn't help me put together my actual landing page. And so I found this really, really hard because I'd learned all the rules, but I didn't learn any of the steps. So I had all this information and I didn't know what to do with it. So I found myself asking, what do I do next? What am I going to do? And after talking to a lot of people in my audience, I found out that they also had the same problem as well. And so I've come up with kind of a solution that I'm starting to put the finishing touches on. And that is a kind of ebook / course called Step-by-Step Landing Page Design for Startups. Okay. And what I'm trying to accomplish here is make a framework and a really basic blueprint that you can go through and step by step, complete each step. And by the time you finish 10 steps, you're going to have all the material you need to put together a really, really effective landing page. So I'll kind of go over quickly the 10 steps. Step 1 is define who you're talking to. And that is figure out who your audience is and how you need to talk to them. Step 2 is about defining that single goal we talked about earlier. Step 3 is writing your main headline. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that and all the different ways you can. Step 4 is to write a supporting headline under that main headline. That has a different purpose than the main headline, but it's also equally as important. Step 5 is writing your call to action and also designing these call to action buttons. Step 6, making a list of 3 benefits and figuring out where to put them and exactly how to talk about them. Step 7 is finding visual context, creating it, putting it inside a container like an iPhone or a browser or whatever you need to do to make a visual representation of your product. Step 8 is including social proof. And this chapter is all about how to find it, how to source it from your users, and the best types of social proof to use. Step 9 is going to be all about putting it all together, everything you've created and written, put it all together and put it into this HTML file. And step 10 is learning how to A/B test that stuff, because A/B testing is so important. So I'm kind of opening this up for pre-order right now. I'm going to release it December 1st, 2015. So what else is going to be included is the step-by-step ebook, but I'm also going to include the HTML template for Quillia, the landing page you've been seeing throughout this presentation, as well as the PSD file. And I'm going to include 3 other HTML files, HTML templates to help you out. One is going to be for a coming soon product. So let's say that you haven't launched it yet, but you want to create a list of interested names. And then the other 2, I'm going to actually open it up to suggestions from the people who pre-order this product. So for anyone in the future that pre-orders this, they're going to actually be able to vote on what kind of HTML templates they want. Maybe it's a portfolio, maybe it's for an ebook design, or even a blog or something like that. I'm going to let them vote. I'm also going to release it with 5 video tutorials. The number 1 being me going through the HTML, the Quillia HTML template, and teaching you how to plug in everything you learned from the step-by-step landing pages ebook, how to plug those into the code and how to get them up and running really quick and really simply. The next video tutorial is going to be about how to track the conversion rate of your landing page using Google Analytics. So this is actually pretty simple, but I'm going to teach you how to go into your Analytics account, how to grab the right code, and how to set it up so that you can track of the people you're sending to your landing page, what percentage of people are actually signing up. And this is an important number to have because this kind of tells you how well your landing page is performing. And if you don't know how well it's performing, then you don't know if changes you're making to it are good or bad. And that's something you really want to know. Third video tutorial is going to be something called Finding Your Audience's Language. This is going to be all about doing research online to find your audience and sort of see how they're talking. Find out what words they're using and using those words on your landing page. Because it's really important that you speak your audience's language. Because if you do that, then they're going to kind of feel like you're reading their mind and they're going to be really likely to buy your product. Or sign up for your product, sorry. A 4th video tutorial I'm going to do is creating visual context. So that's going to sort of teach you how to do screen grabs, do video walkthroughs, how to set up your computer to sort of record yourself, how to set up your phone to record yourself, and pretty much how to make a video or an image or a picture to put on your landing page to use as visual context. And lastly, a quick video tutorial about running a Facebook advertising campaign. I got a large majority of my early signups for Quillia from running a quick, simple little Facebook ad. It cost me $50. I think I got about 80 to 100 signups just from that quick little ad targeted to the right group of people. So I'm just going to go do a quick video tutorial kind of teaching you how to do that and how to get you set up on that. So if you're interested in pre-ordering this, I've got 2 packages available. One is a basic edition. It's just a step-by-step ebook HTML template. That template will be the Quillia template. So even if you buy the basic edition, it's the book plus it's the Quillia template, everything you need to get your landing page up and running. The complete edition will have all the extra templates. It will have all those video tutorials I talked about, the book, and it's also going to have a premium landing page review session with me. So once you're done building your landing page using the book, you can then go to a special calendar link I'll give you where you can book a session with me, and we'll talk about your landing page, and we'll kind of go through any last minute changes you need to make to do that. So if you're interested in pre-ordering any of this stuff, I'm going to post the links right now. The first link I'm going to send through is just the basic link, wherever my question thing is here. So I'll just put it in the chat. That is the basic link for just the pre-ordering the book. And then this second one is for the complete edition. I should mention that the complete edition right now has a pre-order price of $99. Once that's out of pre-order, it's going to go up to $199. So grabbing a pre-order is definitely worth your time. Okay, so those are those 2 links. Let's get back into this full screen mode. So now, as I promised, we're going to do a quick review of someone's user-submitted landing page. And we got about 10 minutes left, so I'll spend a few minutes doing that, and then I may take some questions at the end if anyone has any. So the page we're going to do is called tripinview.com. So if you want to check it out in your own browser, you can go there, tripinview.com. I'm going to go over to my browser right now so we can take a quick look at that. All right, get out of this. And here we are, tripinview.com. Okay, so starting right away, I haven't actually really looked this over. I just picked it because I saw that it had a good opportunity. So really quickly going through it, the first thing that I see about tripinview.com is the headline. It should be the first thing I'm reading when I land here, and it just says Dream Plan Experience. And those 3 things don't really mean anything to me. Dream Plan Experience, I mean, even when you put them together, it's very tagline-ish. It's very trying to be clever, sort of in a way. And it's kind of a common approach I see a lot of people take. So number 1 tip, scratch that main headline and write something plain, simple to understand, to the point, that has a benefit of using your service. Number 2, I'd probably get rid of that fancy font you have there. It's cursive, it's a little hard to read, and again, this needs to be the number 1 thing people read when they land here. It needs to grab them and pull them in. So, I mean, I would even suggest using the font you have here. It says the word view, use it here in your new headline. Third, this background photo that's changing, I don't love it, but more so because sometimes the contrast against the font is really good. Other times I kind of lose this font in the background images, and that's a really bad thing. So, if you don't want to lose the rotating photos, that's fine. But I would recommend, either doing a sort of making the photos a little bit darker overall, or maybe just doing like a box here that has a bit of an opacity that just makes this font have better contrast. So, okay, aside from that, big number 1 thing. Even when I read view the meta terrain in the 800,000 photos and 300 hours of video from a helicopter, I don't understand why. What's the benefit of using this? I mean, obviously, you're saying I can plan a trip using photos and video, but why would I do that? Right? Like, that's the question. I mean, I'm a traveler. I travel different places. Why would I use these photos I'm not quite getting the connection between using photos and planning a trip. I mean, is it just looking at the photos and being like, oh, I'd like to go there, that looks nice? If so, what's the difference between just looking at photos in a guidebook, um, as opposed to these photos that you have? What's the advantage? What's the competitive advantage of using yours as opposed to anyone else? So, I try to address that kind of stuff. Moving along from that, you have three really big similar call to action buttons here: map and search, build your trip, and our picks. What one am I supposed to like? What one do you want people to click on? I guess if I click on this, then this big map rolls out here across the thing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do from here. I imagine you want me to search or something. I guess the disconnect I'm feeling about this landing page is, what do you want people to do? What's the point of this landing page? So again, what's the goal? Are you trying to get people to sign up for something? Because I mean, I don't even see a sign up button anywhere or anything. It seems like you just have your whole application like open to the public and I can just use it as I see fit. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. At what point do you start getting people to sign up, getting their information? Because I mean, for example, if you think about something like Airbnb, I can search, I can use their product and search and find things I like, but I can't book them and sign up without, I can't book them and pay for them and go to them without signing up for their product. Do you have anything like that in this? Do you have any point where I get to a point and I say, oh, now I have to sign up for the product? So I would maybe pick a goal and get rid of everything else. So I saw that you had a search in the map. That's pretty good. A search is a great call to action for a site like this. So maybe get rid of all this. Give me a nice call to action, or give me a nice headline here. Explain the benefits of using it, and then direct me to search for something. So, ask me to look for a place I've been thinking about traveling. And then when I put it in, show me what it is ever you need to show me. And when I want to engage with it further, get me to sign up. Because if you're not getting people to sign up, you're not doing anything. You're not, you know what I mean? You're not building a business. You just have an application online. I see you've got, a little bit of a nav bar over here, which I'm assuming does the same thing. And this profile. Oh, okay, I can sign up. I have no idea why I would, but I guess I can. And there's a menu here. Wow, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Yeah, so this is a perfect example of a landing page that has a lot of different goals. They're mentioning an app here, coming soon, contact us, Facebook, promote, and then my trip. Our recommendations. So let's say I want to go to Malta. Yeah, I think I'm just a little bit confused as to why I would use this. I might be more willing to go through and search around and kind of interact with your interface if I knew what the benefit of using it was. But right now, I don't understand the benefit. So my biggest things are focus on describing a great benefit and how you set yourself apart from other just regular book tripping services. Scratch these like nav things here. Maybe put a call to action more of like search, or get me to do something that takes me right into the value of using your application. And then once I'm there, get me to sign up, encourage me to sign up, grab my user information so that you can get me to come back. Cool. Also, I'm not sure what this other call to action bar is down here. Fly me over. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's happening. I think you seem to be wanting people to jump right into your app, and I think you need to take a step back and explain why I should use it first and